Most of us grew up celebrating Christmas, but almost none of us know where it really came from. And the truth is nothing like the story we were taught. Year after year, we sing the songs, decorate the tree, and repeat the same stories. But here is the truth. The Christmas you know is not how Christmas began. There is a whole history behind this day that most people never hear. Once you learn it, you will never look at December 25th the same way again. We are about to expose a story that stretches across thousands of years. A story that started long before the church, long before Jesus, and long before the idea of Christmas even existed. The truth was hidden under layers of tradition, faith, and money. Today we pull all those layers back. Where did Christmas traditions really come from?
Most people believe Christmas is a simple story. The birth of Jesus in a small town called Bethlehem. A bright star was in the sky, and 3 wise men brought gifts. A holy moment that changed the world. That is the version we were raised on. It feels complete, but it is not the whole truth. When you look closer at history, you see something very different. The customs we think are Christian do not come from Jesus or the world Jesus lived in. These customs were shaped by early European cultures and Roman traditions that predates Christianity by thousands of years. The date does not match the Bible, and the Bible never gives a day for Jesus' birth. The shepherds in the story would not have been outside in the middle of winter. Historians believe Jesus was born in a warmer season, possibly September, not December during the coldest time of the year. The Christmas tree does not come from Bethlehem. That tradition started in old European forests among people who worshipped nature. And the lights come from fire rituals used to fight back the darkness during the winter solstice. The gift-giving comes from Roman festivals. We were taught that Christmas came straight from the Bible, but the holiday we know today is built on layers of older cultures. Each time period added something new. Each group gave it its own meaning. Before the church, before Christianity, and before the time of Jesus, the sun was treated as a divine power. Many Europeans believed their survival depended on it. They feared the long nights and created rituals to push back the darkness and welcome the light. Those rituals still echo in how this season is celebrated today.
What was the world like in Europe before Christianity?
Long before Christianity, the people of Europe lived close to the land. Their lives rose and fell with the seasons. They depended on the sun for light, warmth, and the ability to grow food. When winter arrived, life slowed to a crawl. Days grew shorter, nights stretched longer. The cold felt never-ending. For these early Europeans, the winter solstice was the most feared time of the year. This was the shortest day on the calendar, and the sun appeared weak to them. Darkness felt like it was winning, but Europeans prayed that the sun would return. These were not small groups. They included the Norse in Northern Europe, the Celts in the British Isles, and Germanic tribes who lived in the thick forests of Central Europe. They did not know each other, but they all shared the same fear. Winter brought hunger and sickness and death. They celebrated and worshipped the sun because they thought their lives depended on it. These were not quiet gatherings. Fires burned to welcome the return of light. Stories were told to keep hope alive, and families came together and shared the last of their food. Some groups cut evergreen branches and brought them inside to remind themselves that life was still present even in the cold. These early people were not thinking about Christmas. They were thinking about survival. The sun was their god because without it, nothing could live. Understanding their fear of darkness and their respect for the sun is the key to why December became so important. This was long before Jesus or Christmas. Everything started with the struggle against winter and the hope for the sun's return.
Let's go deeper. What were the first European winter rituals?
These early winter celebrations were not random events. They were built on real fear, real need, and real hope. The people of Europe created traditions that helped them survive the harshest season of the year. The Norse in the far north held a celebration called Yule. This was a long winter festival that could last for weeks. They burned huge logs because they believed the flames helped strengthen the sun. As long as the Yule log burned, the people celebrated. They drank, shared stories, and prayed for longer days. The Celts honored nature through evergreen plants. Evergreen trees do not die in winter. They stay green when everything else turns brown. To the Celts, this meant life never fully left the earth. They believed these plants held power, so they brought them into their homes for protection. This is the root of the Christmas tree. The Germanic tribes created rituals that centered on feasting. Winter was hard, and food was low, and a feast was not just a party. It was a sign of faith that people could make it through the cold months. They gathered in large groups to share meat, bread, and whatever they could find. The community helped them to survive. Across all these cultures, you see the same pattern: fire to call back the sun, evergreen plants to show life, and feasts to bring the people together. These traditions were not connected to Jesus at all, but they were built by people who were fighting nature with everything they had. But these traditions were strong, so strong that when Christianity came, the church could not erase them. The people refused to give them up. These rituals had been passed down for centuries, and they were part of their identity. Before Christmas ever existed, the winter solstice was already the biggest celebration of the year.
Now we move to the empire that shaped the next chapter, Rome. That is where Christmas took its next major step. How did the Roman festival Saturnalia shape Christmas?
When Rome rose to power, it brought its own winter celebration. The festival was called Saturnalia. This was not a small event. It was one of the biggest and wildest celebrations in the Roman world. It lasted for days and sometimes stretched into a full week. Saturnalia honored Saturn, the god of farming and wealth. The festival came at the end of the harvest season. Food was stored, work slowed down, and people finally had a moment to breathe, so they celebrated hard. During Saturnalia, normal rules did not matter. People filled the streets. They danced, they drank, they played games, and they sang loud songs. There was no shame in being joyful. Even serious men who spent the whole year trying to look important joined in. Gift-giving became a major part of Saturnalia. People handed out candles, dolls, and small items to show kindness. This is one of the earliest roots of the modern Christmas gifts. Even the spirit of joy, freedom, and release came from Saturnalia. The idea of taking a break from work and spending time with family came from Rome, not Bethlehem. Saturnalia used green and red as its main colors. Plants and candles were key symbols. They represented light in the darkness and hope during winter. Those same symbols still appear in Christmas today. As Christianity began to spread, the church ran into a powerful reality. Saturnalia was deeply loved. It was too rooted in daily life to erase and too popular to confront. The church had a choice, and that choice changed the history of Christmas forever.
Now let's talk about what the church decided to do. How did the church deal with pagan traditions?
The spread of Christianity brought a difficult reality. Church leaders wanted expansion, but they were working within cultures built on centuries-old traditions. Winter celebrations stood in the church's way. Saturnalia and solstice rituals brought warmth, food, and relief from labor during the darkest time of year. These customs were deeply rooted, and people refused to let them go. The early church could not outlaw these celebrations because people would rebel. They would walk away from the new faith. So the church chose a different path. They decided to work with the traditions instead of fighting them. Church leaders asked one simple question: if we cannot end these festivals, how do we control them? The solution was strategic. The church kept the time of year, allowed people to celebrate, and replaced the old meanings with a Christian message. This strategy was used many times across different cultures. It was a way to make Christianity easier to accept. Keep the same date and keep some of the same traditions, but add a new story. The church knew that if people kept celebrating in December, those celebrations needed to point to Christianity, not Saturn, not the sun, and not the old gods. They needed a Christian meaning strong enough to stand beside these traditions. So the church leaders made a defining move by linking the biggest celebration of the year to the birth of Jesus, even though the Bible gives no winter date and never mentions December. This move changed the future of Christianity and the future of the world.
Now let's talk about why December 25th was chosen. How did European traditions shape today's Christmas?
Once December 25th became part of the Christian calendar, the holiday slowly changed again. This time, the change came from the people who lived across Europe. They shaped Christmas into something calmer, softer, and more family-centered than the older festivals. Church leaders encouraged a quiet kind of celebration. They wanted the day to feel holy and peaceful. So they introduced midnight services. Families gathered in small groups to pray and sing. Villages created simple plays that showed the birth of Jesus. These early nativity scenes helped people picture the story in a way that felt real to them. In many parts of Europe, Christmas became a time for music, and communities created songs that praised the message of hope and new beginnings. These carols were passed down for generations. They became part of the season, even for people who rarely felt connected to the church. Families also developed their own traditions. Families prepared foods made only once a year, crafted simple gifts, and used the season to heal old divisions. Christmas became a time to pause. The holiday was changing slowly. It was no longer the wild festival of Saturnalia. Each European country added something different. Germany shaped many of the tree traditions. England helped spread Christmas music. France and Italy created strong church customs. Now we move to the United States of America. That is where Christmas became the holiday we recognize today. How did America transform Christmas?
When Christmas reached America, the holiday went through its biggest transformation yet. At first, Christmas was not widely celebrated in the United States. Some early American groups even rejected it. They saw it as a European custom that did not fit their new way of life. But as cities grew and industries expanded, the country began to reshape Christmas into something new. Writers shared the story through poems, Christmas cards carried the message, and businesses built an economy around it. During the 19th century, American writers created stories that made Christmas feel warm and family-centered. These stories showed snow-covered towns, happy families, decorated homes, and children waiting for joy. These images were powerful. They shaped how people imagined the perfect Christmas, even if real life looked different. Businesses saw what was happening and moved fast. Stores began promoting Christmas as the season for buying presents. They created window displays that showed toys, clothes, and household items as special Christmas gifts. Newspapers ran ads that encouraged families to shop early. Christmas quickly became tied to spending money. When Christmas took hold in America, a new figure stepped into the center of the story: Santa Claus. But before he became a smiling character tied to gifts and shopping, he came from a much older and more complicated place. Santa started as a real man named Nicholas, a Christian church leader during the Roman Empire. He was not magical, but over time, stories that he was generous was added. In Europe, those stories were reshaped. His name became mixed with folklore that focused on obedience and behavior. Children were taught that this figure watched them and decided who deserved rewards. That was not scripture, but culture using fear and control. When this figure reached America, the religious side faded, but the control stayed. Santa did not rise by accident. He fits perfectly into a system built on spending. What began as a real man became a symbol shaped by religion, culture, and finally business. That is who Santa really is. By the 20th century, Christmas in America had changed completely. It was no longer just a religious day. It turned into a national season shaped by movies, music, shopping, parades, and gift-giving. Many families felt pushed to spend more. Businesses made huge profits. Christmas became one of the strongest commercial forces in the country. What started as a set of ancient winter rituals had now become a major part of American culture and the American economy.
Can Black families celebrate Christmas without embracing pagan traditions?
For Black families, Christmas sits at the crossroads of faith, culture, history, and pressure. Many people were raised to believe this day is strictly Christian. But few were ever told where the traditions really came from. This creates a serious conflict. Many of the customs tied to Christmas come from pagan winter rituals. The trees, lights, wreaths, candles, gift-giving, and even the date itself did not come from the Bible. They came from sun worship, solstice festivals, and Roman traditions that existed long before Christianity. For families who take their faith seriously, this raises a hard question. If your belief teaches you not to worship other gods or follow pagan practices, what does it mean to celebrate a holiday built on those exact traditions? This is not a deliberate choice for most Black people. The history was never explained. The celebration was passed down without truth. If someone believes in one God, can they practice pagan Christmas rituals without honoring pagan beliefs? If this opened your eyes, the next video will too. The real story of Valentine's Day, it's not what you think. That's a wrap, history seekers. Getting to the roots is where history comes alive. We uncover the history they hide, one story at a time. Thanks for watching. Peace and love.